Image stabilizer is a great help when doing long exposure photography. Hi there, I'm Peter Forsgaard, an Olympus Visionary from Helsinki, Finland. And before we start talk about image stabilizer, please consider subscribing to my channel. My channel is all about you getting to be a better photographer. And there's also another thing I want to say. I've had lots and lots of new subscribers lately, and I'm really thankful to all of you, and I hope that I can, deliver the stuff that you want me to do. And if there are anything that you want me to make a video about, just leave a comment down below and I'll see what I can do about that. But thank you so much. Usually when you're making long exposure photographs, you need a tripod. But modern digital cameras have very good image stabilizers, either in the body or in the lens. Both technologies have their advantages. If the image stabilizer is in the lens, it's a little bit easier for the camera to focus because the sensor gets a fully stabilized image. The downside of having the image stabilizer in the lens is the cost. Because of course every lens that you use should have an image stabilizer, and if you want to buy a new lens with the stabilizer, it's gonna cost a little bit more because it's more complex to make. Then you have IBIS, which means the in-body image stabilization. That's a hard word. Image stabilization, or image stabilizer actually is the right word. And Olympus, the camera brand that I use, have a IBIS. The great advantage of IBIS is that every lens is stabilized because it's in the sensor. It doesn't matter what you put in to your camera, it's already stabilized because it's in the body, and I think that's a big advantage. And it's also cheaper. You need to only have one stabilizer. You don't have to buy several stabilizers with every lens. And when the technology gets better, you want to have a better stabilizer, just replace the body and use the old lenses. The disadvantage with IBIS is that it does not work that well with long telephoto lenses. And Olympus have solved the problem so that the big telephoto lens, like the 300mm f4, has also a stabilizer in the lens, which gives an extra stop of stabilizing. And there is also another lens, 12 to 100mm lens, that also have a stabilizer in. And with that 12 to 100mm f4 lens, you get 6.5 stops of stabilizing, which is quite a remarkable amount. But let's dive into Olympus and see how the stabilizer works and how to set it up. Some Olympus cameras have 5-axis stabilizers and some have 3-axis stabilizer. And the biggest difference is that the 5-axis is a little more efficient. But with the 3-axis you can do fine if you have steady hands and don't pursue image like shutter speeds like 2 to 5 seconds, which you can make with the 5-axis image stabilizer. All my examples are from Olympus OM-D E-M1 MKII, which has a 5-axis image stabilizer, which can stabilize 5.5 stops. The image stabilizer settings can be found in the custom menu C2, and there are 4 settings. You have the SIS Auto, SIS1, SIS2, SIS3, and then the 5th one actually is turn it totally off. I usually have the S Auto on. That can detect any movement that there might be when I take images. SIS1 is also a good setting, but it might not be the best one if you do a lot of panning shots. For those panning shots you might want to use SIS2 or SIS3. It depends on which way you have your camera, vertical or horizontal. And when you're using a tripod, I recommend turning the IBIS off. And also when you want to have exactly the same composition in 2 consecutive images, I recommend turning the IBIS off also then, because the composition might be a slightly different one in each image if you have the IBIS, because the sensor is moving and it might take a picture that has a little different composition than the previous one. And when turning IBIS off, it also saves you some battery life, because of course it uses battery or it uses electricity to work. So turning the IBIS off might save you some battery life. And then you can choose the priority of IBIS. The FPS priority takes priority on speed of the photograph. So if you want to make images really fast, then use the FPS priority, or if you want the stabilizer to be priority, then use that. Of course, the difference isn't very big, but prioritizing the image stabilizing is wise if you're not doing any images of fast moving subjects. Then you can choose if you want the IBIS to start working when you press the shutter button halfway. I usually use this one so that it's on, because then I can see stabilized image in the EVF. If you have it off, then you can see the camera movement. I prefer having the image stabled in my EVF. These are my suggestions for you, and if you have your own way of doing, please tell me in the comments. But hey, thanks for watching and bye for now.